Hey guys, I'm sure a lot of you know how slow I am at uploading videos. My reviews are highly scripted, and I like taking my time when I start writing about the game's mechanics and all that. So that's one of the reasons why they take so long, apart from college and other stuff in my personal life, of course. I doubt this video will change any of that, but I'm trying something new anyway. I figured it would be a fun idea to talk about the games that I've recently played, because it would take forever if I decided to make a video for every single game. It'll also be a good way to talk about titles that I play on the side. I normally focus on playing one game until I finish it, but recently I've been rotating between different games depending on what I feel like playing. It's turning out quite well, especially when it comes to games that don't require too much of my attention. But of course there are also times, specifically in RPGs, where I load my save file and I spend 5 whole minutes wondering what's happening and why I'm in a certain area. So anyway, I'll start with what I've been playing on the Switch. The first one is Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Trilogy. I only managed to play through the first Ace Attorney game years ago on the DS, so I'm really glad that I can finally play the next two titles in the series. The game is a detective visual novel where you play as Phoenix Wright, an attorney who defends his clients in the courtroom. He also likes to snoop around and take evidence from crime scenes, which sounds very illegal, but you know, gameplay reasons. There are a lot of comedic moments and goofy characters, so look away if you're expecting a more serious courtroom drama. But it's a very entertaining game, especially when it's time to defend clients in a trial. It gets real good when you start cross-examining any inconsistencies in the witnesses' testimony, and pressing them for details while shoving evidence in their face. I'm still playing through the first game in the series, but I'm having a lot of fun going through the whole experience again. The updated graphics definitely refreshes the whole thing too. I like the pixelated art style of the DS game, but I also appreciate how smooth and crisp it looks in the Trilogy. It took me a while to decide whether I wanted the game on PC or the Switch, but I settled for portability in the end, and I found a good deal for the physical copy. The second game I've been playing is World of Final Fantasy Maxima. This is a spin-off game that plays like a mix of Final Fantasy and Pokemon. It sounds strange, but it actually works. You get to catch creatures called mirages, and you use them to fight in battles. But unlike Pokemon, some of these mirages have to stack up on the main characters' heads. Yes, it looks really silly, but it works. Since the protagonists can switch between their normal and chibi selves, yes, they can do this because of plot reasons. You can even ride on a mirage while having a smaller one on top of your head. Your stats and abilities are affected whenever you stack mirages, and you'll even topple over if you get hit too much. I don't think the battles are all that interesting, but the mirage stuff adds some spice to it. As for the story, it stars Lan and Rain, twins who have amnesia but can somehow control these mirages using mysterious symbols on their arms. I haven't gotten too far into the game, but it contains typical JRPG tropes with some exposition. But there is one thing that stands out about the game. It's very self-aware.
The world has some secrets. You're simply better off not knowing. Okay.
The main characters poke fun at a lot of tropes not only in JRPGs, but in their own world as well. The game's also full of puns and dad jokes that either put a smile to my face or made me cringe real hard. But it's still charming because the game's lighthearted and really cute. Even though it's very linear and not as engaging as other role-playing games I've played, collecting mirages and listening to the banter between characters is what keeps me going. And it's a great game to casually play through, even though it was a little tricky starting out. The Maxima version of the game includes DLCs like new mirages, stories, characters, and bosses, but I read that the base game has enough content as it is. The next one I've been playing is Final Fantasy VII. I played it on PC before, but now I'm slowly replaying it on the Switch. I wanted to concentrate on just World of Final Fantasy, but the Square Enix sale in the eShop last month was way too tempting. Playing through the remake made me want to pick up the original FF7 again, so I thought it would be a good idea to try it out on the Switch. It feels kinda redundant to talk about the story again because one of my recent videos was literally about the remake. I think talking about the story beyond the Midgar section would just be spoiler territory. And I'm kind of past that in the game already, so Shinra is an evil megacorporation and this spiky-haired anime boy named Cloud is going against them with his group of friends. That's about it. The port is solid so far. I think it's the same as the PC version, or at least identical to it. Which is fine because as much as I like playing older JRPGs, I find it really hard to go back to some of them. Some mechanics just don't age well. And that includes random encounters and grinding. With FF7's case, I'm glad that the speed boost option is in the Switch port. It makes grinding and walking through areas so much better, especially since this is my second time playing through the game. Finally, there's Animal Crossing New Horizons. I guess it doesn't really need an introduction, but I'll try to summarize it in my own way. You play as a human who becomes indebted to this tanuki named Tom Nook. Even when you do pay him off, all of your income and resources come from him and his two nephews. But on the bright side, you can decorate however you like on the island. And you also get friendly neighbors who don't really do anything. They just chill and occasionally mention how tired they feel when they see you running around doing all the work in the island. Life sims are one of my favorite genres because they're so relaxing to play through. Sometimes I just want to go fishing. Well, most of the time actually. That's why I still haven't made any extreme changes to my island even after 180 hours of playtime. I've actually been taking more breaks from this game because I've been feeling burned out. I guess it's no surprise because I practically played Animal Crossing almost every day since March. There are a lot of tedious things in the game that would really benefit from quality of life updates, like terraforming more than one tile at a time. Heck, I'll be satisfied with just having the ability to craft multiple fish bait. It's still a great game though. Like, there's a lot more freedom compared to older Animal Crossing games, and I like the updates that are being released, like swimming and diving. Now, if they could just add Brewster to the game. On to the games that I've recently played on PC. Fallout New Vegas. It's a game that I've been planning on trying for so long. I remember finishing Fallout 3 a long time ago and I absolutely loved it, but for some reason I couldn't get into New Vegas at the time. I don't know what changed, but I'm so glad that I gave the game another shot, even though it took quite a few years. In New Vegas, you play as a courier who not only gets their package stolen, but is shot and left for dead. After getting patched up, you head out into the post-apocalyptic open world. But I won't talk about the game too much because I'm saving it for a full video. So I'll talk about my progress instead. I'm currently more than 60 hours into New Vegas and I've been enjoying every second of it. I spent most of my time exploring and doing side quests because I didn't want to accidentally go too far into the story, causing me to get locked out from certain quests. I'm going through the DLCs right now, and I already completed 2 of them, Dead Money and Honest Hearts. But I'm still playing through Old World Blues, which is turning out to be my favorite DLC by the way. The humor is amazing. The DLCs so far are definitely not equal in quality, but I've been enjoying them because they still have a lot to show and tell. I'm kinda glad that I got into the DLCs at a higher level because some of those skill checks were crazy. I can't wait to talk about the DLCs in detail and, I think this is shaping up to be my favorite Fallout game. I can't wait to be in pain after finishing it because I know this might be the only Fallout game from Obsidian Entertainment. Another game that I've recently played is A Short Hike. A game with cute animal people and a really pleasant soundtrack. But what drew me in was the goal of the game. You play as Claire, a bird who visits a provincial park to relax and visit her Aunt May. But the main reason why she goes hiking is because she needs cell phone reception. There are plenty of side activities around the park. It kind of feels like Animal Crossing in a way, from the adorable characters to some of the gameplay elements. I really enjoyed flying around the park, collecting coins and feathers, fishing, and doing small tasks for strangers. Just as the title states, it's a short game, but it's incredibly wholesome from the beginning to the end. I highly recommend it if you're looking for a chill, 2 to 3 hour experience. The next one is a rhythm game, Muse Dash. Huge thanks to my friend, by the way, for giving me this cultured game. The first thing I noticed about Muse Dash is its cute, eye-popping visuals. The game has a lot of style, and its gameplay is a bit different compared to other rhythm games I've played. Each level is a side-scroller that your character automatically runs through. So all you need to do is push 2 buttons to beat up incoming enemies according to the beat of each song. But it gets more complicated depending on the track. Most of the songs vary in genre and language, but are usually catchy, so it was fun replaying them on different difficulty levels. You can choose between 3 characters, and each of them have their own traits. Every time you complete a song, you get XP to level up, while getting items and other rewards like companions. So it became really addicting to go from one track to the next. The base game already has a lot of songs, but additional tracks are purchased as DLC. I think the game's fine as it is though. It's a nice game to pick up and drop whenever I feel like playing through a song or two. And the last game that I've recently played is Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. Oh man, it's so refreshing to see a battle royale that does something different. I've been having such a blast with the game. Even when I lose, I still get plenty of laughs. I've always thought that Wipeout and Takeshi's Castle would be an amazing concept for a video game. Fall Guys feels like a combination of those game shows, except it has 60 jelly beans pushing and trampling over each other in each minigame until one lucky person is left. I like the variety in each round, from rolling a giant ball to avoiding gaps on the floor. Even when you think you're doing good, the odds can turn against you pretty fast. Like in the tail tag minigames, I've had moments where I thought I would keep my tail for the entire round, only for someone to snatch it in the last 10 seconds. It doesn't matter how good you are with platforming too, because you're competing with a ton of other players who will either jump on you or push you off the path. I'm curious to see what's going to come next for Fall Guys because I think its popularity will increase if they keep it up with good updates. For now, I'm just having fun trying my luck in each round and customizing my Fall Guy with the silliest outfits. Thanks for watching, and feel free to let me know what games you're playing too. I might make this a regular thing in my channel, so I'll upload another one when I feel like I'm playing way more titles than I can talk about. So anyway, I'll see you in the next video.